Ahoy! After quite some time, there's no more time left to lose, so let's get straight into the coming battle between House Valmorn and the Circus Rotigus. And it's the turn of the undead, so they are heading to the Gaul, basically just to get some more wheatstone, because the special effect of the location is not really worth mentioning. And here they are, the Restless Dead of House Valmorn. Today, not with their Lich. Lady Ursula misses this match, so for this battle, the Necromancer Gilbert will be in charge. Also, there's the Mad King Morlock of House Valmorn, alongside with his two sons, Marshal Folk and Sir Jedran, on the right side. And on the left side, the other two sons, which are not heroes, Helmar and Tyne. They are accompanied by two mercenaries, Methusalem, the Warlock, and Big Willy, the Ogre bodyguard. Finishing off the Warband is another white, 3 skeletons and a single zombie. Although Gilbert the Necromancer can summon D3 additional zombies at the start of the turn, which will be 2 in this game. And talking about Gilbert, he has the skill Dark Ritual, which in this battle will be +3. And on the other side is the Carnival of Chaos, led by Moonhead. And I forgot to mention, King Morlock of House Valmorn has hatred against Moonhead, because a while back they fought over a treasure and Moonhead killed King Morlock, so Morlock has a deep hatred against the leader of Circus Rotigus. But nonetheless, also in the circus there are 2 brutes, the Carnival Chef and the Gardener, also 2 tainted ones, Howard Lucas and Clownface, although Clownface won't be here today because he has an injury and misses this match. For him, there's a Brethren hero, Sunshine, with 2 swords, step aside and sprint, so he can move very fast. 5 demons, 2 plague bearers and 3 nurglings, another 2 brethren with club and dagger, and 2 brethren with bow. The Carnival of Chaos, searching for some weirdstone and wandering along the streets of Mordheim, and in the distance they see a familiar enemy, the Restless Dead from House Valmorn, led by King Morlock, the Madman, who has a personal hatred for Moonhead, the leader of the Carnival of Chaos, and is out for some personal vendetta. So the game today will be a street fight. We have a long street down the middle, and on one side I just put a few more houses and walkways to make the map more interesting. But the main objective is, just get down the street, fight each other to the death, and if you manage to get a hero out on the opposite battlefield, he gets some experience. And that's exactly what's happening on the first few turns. Everyone just gets up the street and maybe gets in a good position. And the undead are at a distinct advantage because most of the warband just can't run. So they will have to block anyone who maybe gets through or trying to slip by, like Sunshine, the Brethren hero with Sprint, who is really fast, and that's what he will try to do in this game. Otherwise, there's a big bridge in the middle, so you don't have to fight in this tiny alleyway. And also for some ranged units, it could be a good spot to look down. And as you can see here on the right hand side for the circus, there's Sunshine, who maybe tries to get by. But Big Willy climbing up the ladder and standing in his way. And just as a disclaimer, the walkway you're seeing at the bottom of the screen, that is not part of the battlefield, so Sunshine has to move down and through the streets to escape. And on the left in the house there's a marker for Methusalem, indicating that he successfully casted the Sword of Rezabel. And now, after everything is in position, let's get into the action. Both archers of the circus fired at Big Willy, and one even managed to inflict a wound. On the other side of the battlefield, the Carnival Chef heads into the building, and Moonhead follows him onto the bridge, but failing to cast some magic. Taking an arrow to the knee, Big Willy is enraged and trying to jump over the planks to attack Sunshine. Therefore needing an initiative check for a 3-. And a 4 means he fails and just slamming into the wall and falling down. So he takes D3 wounds. There will be 1 wound at height 3. So yeah, against toughness 5, that's not enough to wound, but he's down. After moving up, the king wants his prey, and the necromancer Gilbert shall help him. So Gilbert trying to cast the Spell of Doom, and with a 9 plus 3 from his Dark Ritual, that's well enough. Therefore Moonhead has to make a strength check, and 4 is not enough, so let's roll on the injury table. And a 1 means he's knocked down, but he's on the ledge, therefore needs to pass an initiative check with a 3 or lower. 6 means he is crashing down, taking D3 hits at strength 2, so 1 wound on a 5, and his Cromwell armor saves him. But now he's down, directly in front of House Velmorn. Thankfully, the undead already moved, and it's now the turn of the circus. But looking grim for Moonhead, very much to the delight of the Mad King. But Moonhead retreats into the safety of his demon company, and with his spell Burrows he knocked down Tyne and the archers, taking Helmar out of action. Swinging around in the house, the carnival chef was frightened by Goliath the White, so he just stands there and stands guard. And on the other side, the gardener and Sunshine getting ready for Big Willy, or maybe a breakthrough. And that's all she wrote. No close combat to resolve, so let's see how the undead get to their prey, Moonhead. After thinking it through, sadly there is no direct solution to get into close combat with Moonhead. Carefully sequencing charges so no one can meaningfully intervene. First the zombie, then the skeleton, to make sure the henchmen are occupied. After that, Jedran taking on the Plague Bearer, and the zombie shambling through on the right side, but getting intervened by the single Nurgling. Therefore, no direct route for the king, so he has to charge the last remaining Nurgling. But yeah, if we can slaughter through the demons, there will be a path to the Moonhead. So, just not yet. Good things will happen to those who wait. On the other side, Big Willy tries again to charge up the walls, but a 6 is also a fail. Resolving the combat, Helmar also squeezed in alongside with the zombie, and they took down the henchman with club and dagger. The other henchman was brought down by magic of Gilbert. The king just knocked down the Nurgling, and Sir Jedran with the Plague Bearer fought to a draw. In the house, the carnival chef just killed the white, and the zombie did no harm in return. So it seems like Methusalem with the Sword of Rezabel has to take down the chef. Nothing to see over there. And down in the middle house, the 2 skeletons just knocked down the Plague Bearer. So close, yet so far. Now it's time for the carnival. And the retaliation followed swift, although Sunshine just taking a step back from Big Willy. The gardener running over the planks, but not able to take down the skeletons. Down in the middle, skeleton killed a Nurgling, and Moonhead charged and drove back the zombie, because the weapon counts as a halberd. Over at the house, Carnival Chef just obliterated the zombie and awaits Methusalem. And Howard Lucas coming to the aid of his Carnival Master, but failing spectacularly to even hit the king. The king striking back, 3 attacks, 2 hitting, and the 3rd one missing. And with strength 4, the 3 is not enough, but the 6 means a critical hit with his white sword, ignoring armor saves. So, 1 wound lost on Howard Lucas. And there's also the fight between Jedran and the Blackbearer. Blackbearer starting, hitting 1 time. Jedran fails to parry on a 3. Strength 4 against toughness 4. 5 is enough to wound, even with the resiliency of Sir Jedran, and failing his armor save. So on the injury table, a 3 becomes a knockdown because he is an undead. Sadly, still there's no way to get to Moonhead, so Tyne supporting his brother against the Plaguebearer. Gilbert swinging around and taking his free kill on the knocked down Nurgling, with Marshal Falk supporting the king against Howard. Big Willie taking big steps over the big plank against the big gardener, and Methusalem charging the Carnival Chef. Well, as you can see, Big Willie failed against the gardener. Down on the ground, Sir Jedran lost a wound against the Plaguebearer with no damage in return. On the other side, Gilbert taking his free kill, and Howard surviving again with 1 wound. And up in the house, Methusalem with the Sword of Rezabel just slicing through the gardener. No chance to evade, and with a critical hit, just inflicting instant fatality. But the Carnival is far from done. Moonhead supporting the Plaguebearer and attacking Tyne. And yeah, Sunshine was too afraid to attack Big Willie, even though he's lying on his back. But maybe the gardener can finish him off. And in the shooting phase, 2 arrows just destroying Gilbert's lucky charm. And as you can see, during the combat phase, there were lots of casualties on the side of House Valmont. On the top, the Plaguebearer knocked down a skeleton, so the gardener could divide his attacks on 2 downed enemies. On the streets, Sir Jedran was stricken down by the Plaguebearer and Tyne by Moonhead, although the zombie and skeleton win the henchman fights. Swinging around, finally Lucas has been brought down by the king. That means there are still a lot of bodies in the way for the king to reach Moonhead, and it's not looking too good for House Valmont. But with all of their dark, cunning intelligence, they found a way. And the way is for Gilbert to distract the Plaguebearer and charge him, successfully passing his fear check. And with the Plaguebearer out of the way, the king can finally reach Moonhead. And there we have it. The zombie taking out the henchman, as did the skeleton with the Nurgling on top of the bridge. Methusalem, in his blood rage, just obliterated the archer. And on the other side, the remaining skeleton has been knocked down the wall. Gilbert missed the Plaguebearer and striking back. 1 hit against Gilbert, and with strength 4, 5 is enough to wound him. He has no armor. And he's stunned. That's a sacrifice the king is willing to make, and Moonhead still has to pass his leadership check, which he does. So the king unleashing his full rage, hitting 3 times against Moonhead, although 1 hit is being deflected by the lucky charm. But still, 1-5, that's enough to wound, and his white blade inflicting a mortal wound on a 5+, and a 4 means there are 2 wounds instead of 1. Strength 4 bringing his Gromwell armor down to a 4+, so both passing through the armor of Moonhead. And a 6 means the king has stricken down his mortal enemy, Moonhead, after a long hunt in the streets of Mordheim, has been killed by the Mad King, Morlock of House Valmor. Which means he is no longer the leader, and at the start of the Carnival turn, the Gardener steps in and takes a leadership check, and he fails, so the Carnival routs, and victory goes to House Valmor. Well, House Valmor has won this battle, and after resolving all the casualties, Sir Jedran finds himself in a pit and has to fight a gladiator, so the action is not over. And first a roll-off to determine who will strike first. The gladiator has a 5, and Jedran has a 2, so the gladiator starts. He has 2 attacks with his Morningstar and 1 attack with his sword arm. All 3 hit. Jedran fails to parry, and yeah, 1 and 2, the Morningstar fails to wound, and a 4 is also not enough because Jedran's resiliency, so Jedran can strike back, hitting on a 5, and the gladiator fails to parry, and a 6 is a critical wound with his white sword, and another 6 means 2 hits instead of 1 with no armor saves allowed, and +2 to the injury roll. Therefore, the 3 becomes a 5, so Sir Jedran killing the gladiator in one big swing. And with the extra experience points from defeating the gladiator, Sir Jedran also got a level up, got a new skill, Mighty Blow. As for the other ones, Gilbert also leveled up, got a new skill, Summoner, so the Warband size increases by 1. The King got a level up as well, his second attack, so with Frenzy and the extra sword in his hand, he is now at 5 attacks. Again, with the white swords, dealing critical hits on a 5+, he's extra killy. On the henchman side, Helmar got +1 weapon skill, and Tyne became the 6th hero. He got a skill, Step Aside, and House Valmor bought a suit of heavy armor for him. Big Willy also leveled up, he got a skill, he's now resilient, again with toughness 5, he's literally quite resilient during close combat. And Methusalem got +1 initiative. Well, initiative 5, not the worst, especially with the Sword of Rezabel. As for the circus, things didn't went too bad for them, just 2 Nurglings died and they rehired them. Although, the chef got a broken leg and permanently got reduced to a movement of 3, alongside with Howard Lucas, who broke his arm and misses the next match. But then again, Clownface will be ready for the next operation. He bought a suit of heavy armor and a lucky charm for him as well. The Gardener leveled up, got another skill. He is now a combat master, so getting extra attacks when he is outnumbered. Moonhead, believe it or not, he got hatred for the entire House Valmor after being taken out and learned a new skill. He's a Whetstone hunter himself. And the Circus Guard also got a level up, got +1 leadership. That's all for now. You can take a look at the map, how it stands, and until the next battle, have a good one.